Hey, welcome back to another episode of Can We Talk About It? Oh, we got a great episode for you guys today. I'm so excited to be able to share it with you. Today's episode is going to be Young Man, Listen. Let's go, baby. Can we talk about it? All right, so there it is. Young Man, listen. So I was thinking about something about just the young people out here and how really this generation, my generation is responsible for the next generation. Yeah, as an older dude, man, I turned 52 2 days ago. And, it's just really been on my mind to, how can I give back? What am I doing in this life that's going to affect not just my life, but somebody else? Is there a way for me to use my experiences to help benefit somebody else so somebody else doesn't have to have firsthand experience of doing some dumb stuff in life, because it's really just a conversation. You just grabbing a young person up like, hey, listen, let me holler at you, young man. Or, let me talk to you, the young lady. We really, as an older community, need to make sure that we touching and reaching out to this younger generation. We have so many issues as older people with what this generation is doing, but what are we doing about it? You know what I'm saying? Are we reaching out? Are we seeing things and trying to say something at the same time? Or are we just seeing it and be like, hey, my child. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We all live on this earth. We all turn on the news and see stuff happening, and it's happening in your community. I mean, I live in a great neighborhood, but guess what? You don't hear about crime out here like that. You don't. But I'm not that far removed where crime can't come to me, because that's impossible. We live on the same earth of this generation, and it ain't all this It's not all this generation, this young generation running around just killing and shooting and stealing and robbing and raping and doing drugs. It's some of these old folks too that's my age, and I'm 52. You know what I'm saying? These people out here doing the same damn thing. Somebody needed to reach them. Therefore, they wouldn't have been out here doing what they doing. So I just feel like, man, what am I doing? And if I'm not doing nothing, then I'm in the way. I'm part of the problem. In life, you either part of the solution or you part of the problem. And you can't turn on the news in your neighborhood and say, damn, I'm doing all that I can do to help police this neighborhood in the sense of, I ain't never telling you to go out here and rat on nobody. I'm not saying that. But if I see crime as a homeowner, if I see you breaking into my neighbor's stuff, hey man, I'm getting out here with my gun and I'm saying something. Because if you out here breaking in my neighbor's stuff, my house next. That's my thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on some see something, say something, or do something. Now, I ain't calling the police. I ain't. But if you at my neighbor house, and guess what? It's all love with me and my neighbors. If you in my neighborhood doing some things you ain't got no business doing, some crime, guess what? I'm pulling out my gun, bro. Hey, get out of here, bro. This ain't the neighborhood for you to be in. That's just what it is. That's what I believe in, policing my neighborhood. I ain't calling the police. You're going to have to face some serious personal consequences. You come in my neighborhood with that shiggity. So that's what I'm saying, But as far as these kids, they ain't kids. They kids to us because I'm 52, you know what I'm saying? And I got a 34-year-old daughter. So anything that age and younger is a kid to me, because you old enough to be my child. And I want to make sure that these young people got an opportunity of just living a good life. Talk to them. They'll listen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on my last show, that I ran into about 5 young men, and they came out and they was looking at all the Corvettes that was out there. And they were curious. And what I told them was, hey man, listen, and mind you, all these guys were black, African American, however you want to call them. They looked just like me. That's what I'm saying. And they were younger and they were so fascinated with these cars. And then I started talking to them because the bridge was already there. The conversation started on Corvettes. But it got into, hey man, you can have these cars, because they were in such admiration about these cars. And I'm letting them know, hey, you know what? You can have this. You can have this easy. You work hard. You do the right things. Put your money in the right places. And you can buy stuff like that. You know, you can spend up to $130,000, $150,000 on a Corvette. I ain't pay that for mine. But I'm saying that there's guys in my Corvette club that do things like that. But still, for the young people, if you let them know that what I have or what you see is possible in your life, then I open up doors, that open up their mind to believe, well, if he got it, then I can get it. And he got it working. I could get it working. You know what I'm saying? You have to let them know that you ain't got to be out here doing nothing dangerous to yourself. Something that's going to get you off these streets for a minute. You don't have to be doing any of that to get anything. You can work your plan, plan to work your plan, and then the fruits of your labors will show up. Trust me. And when I was speaking to them about that, you could see the wheels turning, you know what I'm saying? Because now they realize, man, this ain't just something I could just see that somebody else have. It could be in my life too. Yeah, blessings will show up in your life, man. You do the right thing in life and you plan ahead. Yeah, this stuff will come easy, way easy. You know, when I first started to get a little bread, I didn't know that this American dream, whatever that is, but this idea of American dream could be mine. I just needed to readjust a few things, you know, tweak a few things in my life that I wasn't doing and I started doing. And one of the great things about it, this guy named Uncle Lewis, I call him Uncle Lewis, he had a vet and I was like, man, I want a vet. And he told me, hey man, you can get one of these. So we're talking about Corvettes, but you can translate it to a beautiful home, a mansion even, or whatever else that you desire. I'm just using cars as the theme right here. And when he told me that, I was like, still after he told me, I still was in doubt. But after I finished speaking to him, I knew that I could go get a Corvette, right? And then as a grown man, I realized, well, maybe I just need to look at things a little differently. So I started looking at things differently. And then one day I bought one, and it was such a happy day because I wanted something. I saw something. I wanted something. And then I accomplished getting that. And that's what we need to just pass on to these young men that, hey, look, young men, young ladies, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm a man, so I really think about the young men first because it seemed like in our community, that's the people who are going astray that I know of because I'm a man. I don't really have young females in my life, in my circle that I talk to other than my sister's daughter. But yeah, but other than that, I don't have anybody. But young men I run across all the time. I have a Corvette and people stop me all the time, no matter where I'm at. And it's an opportunity to speak to people once they be like, hey man, you got a nice car. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. It's like, hey, so what you doing? You want one of these? And of course, that's going to intrigue anybody because they're like, hell yeah, I want one. Well, let me tell you how to get one. You know what I'm saying? And what that allows is a conversation about, well, how you moving in your life? What are you doing? If you really want one, how bad do you want one? Do you want one bad enough to work for it? You know what I'm saying? You may have to go to work. You may have to get a good job. You ain't gonna be able to go to work a regular job where they paying you $20 an hour. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to work a job where, you have a little side hustle, some legal, you know what I'm saying? You can get a trade, like I'm a certified well, I went to school for welding. So years ago, I was welding, until somebody offered me a job years ago to, do what I did as far as like CDL license. You got to keep skills in your pocket. You a certified welder, you got a CDL license. These are things that you can use to generate money. You know what I'm saying? And these kids don't understand how easy it is to go get that skill and then turn that into a great life. And that's just a conversation as an older gentleman to speak, not be afraid. I'm not afraid of these kids. These kids is wild and you can't talk to them. They ain't gonna listen. No, that ain't true. Talk about what they want to hear. Find their interest. You know what I'm saying? Finding their interest will hold their interest. And then you could divvy off into other conversations that they may not be familiar with that really open themselves up to different things. Sometimes it's not a matter of what their interest is. It's a matter about what have they been exposed to. And if you expose the kids to great things, man, they're going to be great people. You know what I'm saying? They could become great people a lot easier without, trying to steer them or pull them. No, you show them something and give people enough breadcrumbs. Hey, man, next thing you know, you done ate a whole meal. One breadcrumb at a time. You done ate a whole plate. We done all been sick and somebody had to spoon feed us a little bit. And, next thing you know, whatever you were eating is finished. Peas. I love peas. But there were things that I didn't like. And when I was sick, it seemed like that's exactly what the doctor wanted me to eat. But anyway, I digress. I'm always trying to tie two things together. You ever notice that? Yeah. But these kids, man, they not lost. If we're not lost, they're not lost. They may be going the wrong way. But when you say something is lost, it kind of make you feel like, well, it's a lost cause for me to try to help because they lost. They too far gone. That's not true. It's are you willing to work a little harder to get your message across to these kids? Are you willing to do that? Because a lot of times we label stuff as lost because we don't want to put the work in to get it back on course. So sometimes when we see out our window these kids clowning, acting a fool, and our window means these windows, these eyes. When we see these kids with our own eyes clowning, how that make you feel? Do that make you feel like, oh man, they effed up? What it make me feel is I need to reach that person before it get too late, before they do something where now they got to go sit down, or now we got to carry them to the hole in the ground. Because that's exactly what it is. It's either they going to jail or they dying. And they dying on our watch. Now I'm going to ask you. And when I say I'm going to ask you, I'm talking about myself too. What we going to do about that? What we going to do? If these kids in this generation is lost and we say we not lost, man, what you going to do? Because I'm holding myself accountable and everybody else. Hey, man, let's clean up this neighborhood. Let's reach our kids. And I don't give a damn if you had these kids out your body. They kids. And kids need guidance. Mine, yours, everybody's. I challenge y'all. You see a kid doing something wrong, just say something. Hey, listen. Say it with love. Say it with empathy. And just try to reach these kids. Because as you see, these kids are dying at a fast rate. They popping pills. They doing drugs a lot early. They lost. As you all say, they lost. But I'm here to tell you, they just a step away from being found. Yeah. Found by you. Found by your word. To get in their ear to be like, hey, man, listen. Or young lady, listen. Let me holler at you. Let me talk to you out of love. Let me tell you something that's going to help you. Because they're not lost. They just need another direction. You know what I'm saying? They need to be going somewhere different than where they are going. And they will go. As soon as you say something. As soon as you help them. Okay, yeah, OG, I didn't see it like that. That's what they're going to say. I appreciate you. Thank you for caring. Hey, man, that will happen if you do your part. You see them lost, so what? That ain't nothing. They'll step away from being found. If you give somebody light in darkness, they can find their way. But remember what I said first. You got to give them light. They may be in the dark, and that's okay. I was in the dark at one time. Somebody shined the light in my face. That's all we need to do. Shine a light and let them know, I'm here for you. Walk towards the light. And then once they see the light, man, you can show them the sign. So I'm going to make this brief. I done said enough. Let's save those who we see not going the right way. They're not lost. They actually been waiting on you to save them. And I encourage you and I challenge you. See something, say something, do something out of love for these kids. All these kids that we see wilding out is ours. Because we the older generation. We know better. We can help them. Let's do that. Listen, I'm your host, Cedric, and this has been another episode of Can We Talk About It? Yeah, and we just did. So the onus is up to us to help the people, and we will. Signing off. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace out.